Bam!
We back.
Yo, we back. The name of the game is Voloheen, Winds of War. The name of the episode is Blood Money. This is the 5th session, getting into the second half of the 5th session. Next week will be the last session of this episode.
It has to be.
It has to be the last session of this episode.
That's why we can't go steal a mechanical dragon.
Exactly. Eridu,
Not because it's crazy
exactly.
and extremely dangerous.
Well, it's both of those too. So yeah,
We've proven that we're willing to get rid of characters, so TPK is fine.
Oh yeah, it's fine. It's fine. You know, just kill all the characters. They're all gone. So
and I'm gonna give a shout out to Tabletop.
Yeah, do it.
Again, Tabletop Crafter is our new Patreon. A new Patreon. A Patreon for us. Yeah. So go to Patreon.
You're muted,
join,
Drew, by the way.
Join Tabletop Crafter and patronize
Sorry.
Mischief. It'll be wonderful.
Yes. Thank you for joining us, Tabletop Crafter. Check that out, and you'll see all sorts of good stuff. And on December 23rd, that is Drew's special day for Master Tier Gaming. So check out Tabletop Crafter, Master Tier Gaming. You'll get some sweet deals there. And yeah, I did want to mention that little bit about the schedule. We are coming up on the holiday season, obviously, and Roll for Mischief. I mean, specifically this game, Winds of War, is going to be taking a little bit of a holiday hiatus. So stay tuned about the possibility of still some streams happening, maybe some more laid-back discussions. Maybe even a new game can be launched, and we're just kind of figuring that out a day at a time, week at a time. So stay tuned. We will definitely be doing more of Blood Money starting right about now. Kicking back in. So your character has just spent a lot of time throwing out a lot of different crazy ideas about what to do, but it seems like what you have stumbled upon that is the most logical course of action is to try and find a someone in Twin Harbor that is associated with the ISCB that hopefully has a level of clearance to make it so that they can get you into the warehouse pretty easily and be able to help you out with stuff that's inside of the warehouse. And the way in which that you're going to do that is you're going to use the fancy new ring that Halifax gambled off of Finnegan that has a powerful enchantment spell in there that hopefully will be able to convince the ISCB agent that helping you guys is a good idea. So, excellent. So you guys are still in the hideout right now. And yeah, you guys have just laid out the plan, and you have to figure out how exactly you're going to find an agent of the ISCB in Twin Harbor.
With magic. Says the only character who's not a spellcaster.
Exactly.
So the first port of call should be finding a member of the ISCB?
Yes.
Let's do that. Eridu, do you like perhaps like know where one might be found, or the names of any of them?
I do know the names of two of them. I've given them to Emily, and
Yes.
perhaps we could see if one is in the city. Otherwise, we could cast some wild magics, and hopefully somebody shows up.
That's easy enough.
Emily will pipe up and say, "Yes, I've gotten those names written down. All the information that you've given me. I will contact Lauren. I will find a way of getting a hold of her and asking her to undertake that. I'm sure she will be agreeable to the idea." All right. Speaking as the DM, I will allow only Eridu to do a check. And let's call it like a history check.
First dice roll of this entire game.
We're going to roll some dice? Oh my god,
What?
we actually rolled dice on this?
An hour and a half in? No way.
No way.
You can, by the way, change the stat used, the ability you used for the roll.
Sure. Yeah, whatever makes the most sense. Maybe it's like a wisdom-based history or something instead of an intelligence-based history or something.
Yeah, let's do wisdom-based history.
Yeah, do
That sounds good
wisdom-based
for me.
history.
That is a 14.
I do that for remembering things.
Okay, so you said it's a 14?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, that will make sense. So Eridu recalls that there are not, the ISCB is very much kind of like one of those more like secretive organizations, like finding an actual like field agent, like, like Raish Dunham is, for instance. That's not something where it'll be very easy just to like go around and find someone like that. It's more like they find you. But there are, it's a big bureaucratic organization, and there are multiple levels to that. And Eridu does recall that one of the places where you can find ISCB representation is actually in the dock section of Twin Harbor, because they have all of these goods coming in, and it's kind of like, going through customs a little bit. There are ISCB agents that are stationed at the docks, and
They do love their bureaucracy. So.
yeah, they do love their bureaucracy. So they're doing like, just double checking stuff, because it'd be a shame if a cursed item managed to slip through and wreak havoc somewhere else in Iridan. It'd be a shame if something like that happened. So there are dock workers, like, you can call them like intake personnel or whatever you want to call them. That's what their job is.
All right. Well, Halifax, I think we will find agents of the Bureau at the docks.
Very good. Well, if that fails, I do have a backup plan in mind. Something that Okrim used to tell in one of his tales. It was, I forget the name of it now. Ah, yes, that was it. It was the tale of the Corbomite spell. It was a magical ability that the sorcerer wielded to fend off these goblins and their encroaching hordes. He warned them of this Corbomite spell, that every creature that passed through its barrier would be slaughtered by a duplicate of that being. But it was a spell that could not be detected by any sensory device or divination. The spell never, in fact, existed, but it scared the goblins off. We could, in fact, pull the same maneuver, claim that we have a magical artifact that defies divination, and that would attract the attention of the ISCB if we sowed the rumors. A backup, of course. We'll see if we can find anyone on the docks.
And if that doesn't work, then we'll just take Zarkon and flash him around town. I'm sure he'll raise some eyebrows.
Very true, yes. I think the sorcerer's name was Kirk. Something Kirk. Anyway.
Let's see.
Let's get down to the I think he was, yes. It was one of these captains that Okrim met on his travels.
Mm-hmm.
Must have been why while he was traveling with the Tranquility. It only makes sense. All right, to the docks.
Before you leave,
With you.
Emily will pipe up and she'll remind you. You must be careful out there. Remember that they could be looking for you. Be careful. Try and hide yourselves as much as you can.
That is why I have this. And I have a robe that goes over my face. And I talk in a high voice. They'll never know who I am.
I suppose that'll have to do.
That or I'll just wear the robe and then not talk at all and let them handle the words.
Very well.
This is going to be very difficult for me to not talk.
Okay. All right. So
Down to the docks.
your characters head down to the docks. It is not entirely sure how much time has passed, but we're going to say it is like evening time, like not the middle of the night or whatever. You know, getting more to be like 7 or 8. Like definitely at the time where the docks are not like operating in full swing. Like, you know, there's ships that are docked there, but there's not a whole lot of activity going on in the city other than the ever-present patrols of guards. And yeah, as you get down to the docks, there's no like real hustle bustle that there usually is. But you are on the side of the city that, you know, hosts several. It's like the seedier version of the docks. Like the other side is like a little more well kept, or whatever. But on this side, it's much seedier, and this is the one where the many taverns are located.
Okay, so I'm assuming that I would look super out of place. So I am going to, unless as a DM you say I would not be looking out of place, I'm going to go ahead.
Aren't you decked in like black leather?
Yeah, but also there's this outside of my kingdom. So I'm going to go ahead and disguise self to make myself look the same, but because I'm proud of who I am, but a regular high elf instead of a drow.
Okay.
So I just wanted to let you know.
Okay. That's good to know.
Yeah.
You are properly disguised as a high elf.
Yep.
And
Same asshole demeanor, just
yeah,
basically a high elf.
for sure. Are either like Eridu's got his cloak? Is Halifax doing anything else to try and hide his appearance or anything like that?
No.
Okay.
No, nothing of the sort. He'll wander around, and if word of what they've done has spread so far that Halifax's description has got back, then we're in a lot of trouble. But Halifax is fairly confident that the dwarves that saw him didn't see enough of him or got back here enough. Like, I didn't piss off or get into a proper fight with any of the what were they called now, the other guys? The stalwart. There we go. So yeah, I'll risk it basically. Like there's not like a zero risk. I probably was seen, but as far as Halifax is concerned, we're good. We're good.
For sure. All right, so you guys are on the docks and walking past several of the shabby, seedy looking buildings that are on this side. And believe it or not, as you look to your left on the wall of one of the buildings, you see a poster. And if you get closer to examine what it says on the poster, it says in big bold lettering, "Wanted, dead or alive, for treasonous high crimes against the government of Twin Harbor. And then it lists some other things like, other crimes like murder, destruction of government property, you know. and it lists your names along with just like a description of like what races you are. It's like Eridu, Samaria, Elf, and then Halifax, Asmar, that kind of stuff. And then also,
So yeah, carrying on, lads. Yeah.
and also listed on the poster are all the names of the Tranquility crew, as well.
Oh
So-
crap!
Yeah, it's a fairly big poster. It's got all of that on there.
I'd like to cast my eyes about, see if anyone that looks like they're married to this poster or anything is around, and then rip it down.
Very well, very well. There is, like I said, there's not a whole lot of activity on the docks right now, so you are able to just rip that down very, very subtly.
It appears that word of our misdeeds has indeed made it back to the shores.
Halifax, would you like a disguise of sorts?
I'd welcome it, yes. My magics focus on others rather than myself.
Okay. You'll accept this, no problem? No resistance whatsoever?
Well, of course, I trust you, Thiala.
Okay, perfect. So I touch you and I cast polymorph.
Okay.
Nah.
and I turn you into a white raven.
Oh, cool.
That's pretty cool. You get to become Tobias a little bit.
Yeah.
So you are now Tobias, essentially, and then obviously you can do that as you please. It would make sense to whatever. But now, you are now a raven. So go ahead and you can probably do that because you can put creatures on D&D Beyond. You can manage a creature and add yourself to that as a raven.
Can he still cast his spell?
Huh?
Is he still going to be able to cast gas?
No, but if I remember correctly, polymorph you can pop in and out of. That's actually player or character would know that, so let me make sure before that's worthwhile.
Well, hold on. I will manage spells.
Polymorph, eh? Interesting. Most interesting.
No. So yeah, you wouldn't be able to cast a spell. But I guess we only really need you to basically get through to that point, right?
Yeah, so like I'm disguised to the point where we find one of these people, and when we find them, that's when the disguise won't necessarily be necessary.
Right, it won't be necessary because we'll have. Yeah, we're just doing this for the hour that we have, so that way nobody sees you walking through.
Cool. When you first polymorph me, I am going to squawk and flap in your face angrily for about 20 seconds, and then settle down, ruffle my feathers a bit, and then go and fly on Eridu's shoulder. So I'll give you the side eye.
Well, if you knew how to cover your tracks a little bit better, then this wouldn't be necessary, would it, young man? I go and I pet his head.
Cute. All right, so I'm gonna look at a couple of these pictures really quick. Oh yeah. Okay, that makes sense. So that's where we got Twin Harbor on this one, and then taking a look at the Twin Harbor map and zooming in. So yeah, you guys are on the eastern docks, which is convenient because then you'll be able to book it hopefully farther up the mouth of the river to where the warehouse is as soon as you figure out what it is that you're doing
Yeah.
right now. So yeah,
Zoom and enhance.
enhance, enhance. Yeah, so you guys are on the docks, and Halifax just got turned into a raven after he ripped down the wanted poster.
Yep.
Yeah.
And what are you guys doing?
I assume wandering up and down the docks looking for sailors.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, so who is it that we're looking for? Like, do we know what they look like?
No, all the information that Eridu had is that there are workers there on the docks. Okay, someone roll an insight check. I'll throw you another bone.
Yeah, I was gonna say, look for someone who looks like they're magic-y. Or at least someone with a clipboard.
Insight, you said?
Insight.
20 total.
I got 11.
Well,
I
actually,
didn't roll.
it wouldn't make much sense. Even if you rolled a good enough insight, all you'd be able to do is go squawk, 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 squawk.
Yeah.
So, what was yours, Eridu?
Oh, I didn't roll.
Oh, okay. Well,
Do you need any more than 20?
no, that's a good point.
Yep.
Okay, so Fiala, as you are looking about the docks and thinking it over, you realize that now would be about the perfect time for any dock workers who had just finished their shift a while ago to be probably tying one on at a tavern somewhere.
Right, yeah, yeah. So, essentially go through the taverns.
Yeah. I mean, you might ask Eridu if he knows of any good
Yeah.
one.
Eridu, the local, what do they call them? Watering
There's a-
holes?
There's a local tavern called the Bottle and Blade. I learned about from a friend of mine. We should probably go there.
No, Eridu, you were there before.
I know I was there, but I didn't know about it before I learned about
Oh,
it from a friend of mine.
Exactly. A little bird told you, huh? A little white
Not-
raven told you?
Not this one. It was a slightly bigger bird, more beardy and a little bit more of a rough voice. I'm trying to be quiet. I don't want people to know it's me.
Lead the way.
Okay. If anybody asks, I'm your brother who can't speak. Let's go this way.
All right. Eridu is realizing that the Bottle and Blade would be a really good place to check if you're trying to check a tavern here on this side of the docks. And you guys head right there. It's pretty easy to find. Eridu knows exactly how to get there. The place looks a little more run down than the last time you saw it. The walls of the building, they were really not clean to start with, but now you get the sense that they've let the place go a little bit. It's much dirtier on the outside. It seems like the building is leaning a little more, like it just doesn't seem like it's as structurally stable as it used to be. But it is still the Bottle and Blade as you remember it in all of its seedy glory. And you open the door to find that the tavern is a-poppin' with much activity. Several dock workers are here of all different varieties, all different kinds of races are present. And
Perception 17. Would I be able to zone in on?
yeah, you actually see that sitting at the bar, there's someone who is standing out, and it's not because he is the only person with red hair in the entire place, but he's also the only one that's wearing a robe. Everyone else has just got very functional, more laborer kind of dock worker garb, very dirty. But this guy is wearing a plain black robe that has several official looking seals and markings on it.
So, that's the guy?
Yeah. it would-
Halifax.
Hmm?
You may have to not be a bird. I think we found somebody. Should we sit down and buy him a drink and maybe
Well,
get
because
a
I'm
lunch?
assuming, so I'm assuming that we discussed who we needed to talk to and everything, right? Like, this is not we didn't focus all of our attention on one person, right? Or did we?
This is a random dude. You guys were trying to just find a random whomever person that works at the ISCB, and this is like the line that led you to that. You guys don't even know this guy's name at all.
Okay, gotcha. So then, I am going to. He's sitting at the bar.
Yep.
Okay. I am going to kind of walk up beside him and kind of like put my hand on his shoulder, but like palm, like basically like this down,
Okay.
and I'm going to say, using my sexual intimidation check,
Sure.
would you like to buy me a drink?
The face turns toward you. I'll make you roll. Yeah. The face turns toward you, and you see that underneath the mop of mousy red hair, there is a human male's face who seems like he's reached a form of adulthood. He looks not like a younger dude, but he still has these unsightly pimples on his face that make him look as if he were younger than
Right.
he was. But he looks at you and his eyes go wide. And what was your check that you got?
Oh, shoot. It was 19 plus 10, so 29.
Well, okay then. So his eyes go wide, and they look as if his eyes might fall out of his eye sockets. He's so shocked, and he just stammers, yeah, and he just reaches into his pouch. He fishes out a few silvers, and he says, what would you like to drink?"
I'm gonna say rum.
"I like rum too. Yeah, that's a great idea. I'll take another round also. Barkeep. The rough-looking dwarf who's standing behind the bar just gives him a stony gaze, and then slowly reaches down under the bar and starts rummaging with a few tinkly sounds.
Okay. I'm gonna. Is there someone sitting to next to me, or is it an open seat?
It's an open seat.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then I sit down, and I'm gonna just kind of lean in quite a bit, and then I'm gonna say, "Have you had rum before?"
Oh yeah, I drink rum all the time. It's like my favorite, and it just tastes so good. You know. My name's Jerry, by the way, Jerry Cayford.
Jerry. My name is Leela.
Leela.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful name. Beautiful.
Thank you.
The barkeep at this point has the two glasses of rum set in front of you, and Jerry takes his, and like with rum or anything like that, it's probably good to just like sip it and enjoy it, but he just goes for like a gulp and then goes
Okay, so Jesus, why am I rolling so well today?
I don't know.
So I'm going to also drink like that, but with my 21 Constitution, I'm that's how I take it.
Yeah, you actually find that Theala's probably had some very exotic spirits of different varieties,
Yeah.
and in your manner of comparison, you realize that this is kind of some watered down stuff. Like it's not anything that great. But for Jerry, his constitution is not that great. Let's say that.
Exactly.
So he regards you as he's coughing a little bit. He looks at you just taking the drink, and he goes like, "Yeah, it's good. I just got it down my windpipe a little bit, and I do that sometimes. It's funny.
I'm gonna put my
it's
hand
really
on
funny.
his leg, and I'm gonna be like, I find that with inexperience comes enthusiasm. That's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a little preferable.
Yeah, I couldn't say it better myself."
I think I would like to, while in my raven form, mimic the sound of a crowd cheering.
He'll look over at that sound and he'll say, "Oh, funny little pet you got there.
He's no pet, he's my friend.
Oh, okay.
Do you not have friends like that?
I to be
I
honest,
don't claim ownership over any being. I hope you don't either.
No. I wouldn't dream of it. I just don't have a lot of friends. Period. So.
Oh, poor child. Tell me about it.
I don't know. I just work a lot. I just spend every day working, and it makes it really hard to have a social life. I mean, whenever I'm not working, I'm pretty much here, and I don't know. I feel like he looks around the bar and he kind of lowers his voice a little bit. I just feel like these people don't even give two shits about anything at all.
Well, what do you do?
Oh, I work here on the docks. I work for the ISCB. It's kind of a boring job. I just scan things as they come in. Make sure there's no cursed sword that's gonna rip innocent people open. It's bureaucracy. It's what it is.
Oh, but you sell yourself short, little one. That is one of the most important aspects of a society, is ensuring that the wheel continues to roll. And while a spoke is underappreciated, it is what maintains the structure of everything.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Like I said, couldn't say it better myself. Leela, was it? Well, I'm sorry. What was your name again?
It's Leela, yes.
Leela, you're pretty amazing. Has anyone ever told you that? I don't even know you, but you're just amazing.
I kind of do like the hair thing, and I go, "Oh, thank you."
Yeah, I mean, what in God's name brings you down to this disgusting watering hole? And then he looks at the bartender and he says, like, "No offense." And the bartender just gives him a stony gaze in return.
I enjoy finding partnerships of all kinds, and sometimes I enjoy the company of high society, and sometimes I enjoy those with grit and those who have seen a day or two of work. And today I am in the mood to experience life in an everyday fashion. As it so happens, someone like you is someone that I'm looking for.
Oh, yeah, sure. I mean, I tell you what, I've got grit. I've got grit. And I was trying to make my voice crack a little bit, but like in the middle of his sentence, his voice cracks in that very like pubescent kind of fashion, and then he coughs and goes, Yeah. I've got grit.
Oh no, child, I don't need grit today. I like the spoke.
I can be that too.
Yeah.
Great. So I mean, I don't know. You and your raven want to get out of here? You and your raven friend? Like,
I would.
okay, yeah. And he fishes in his pouch, and you can see that his body is just trembling at this point. And he
Would you? I know it's gonna sound weird. I would love to see your office.
My office. I mean, I don't really have one. You know, like I'm not really like that important.
I put my finger
you know.
on his mouth. It doesn't have to be your office, as long as we can make it seem like it's your office. Do you understand, little one?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, let's go to your office.
He grabs some coins, throws them down on the table. He looks at the dwarf, and it looks like as if he might like summon some courage to say something to the barkeep that he's been like keeping in for a long time. But then he thinks better of it, and just leaves the silver and says, "I'm out of here. I'm out of here."
I mean, I'm the enchanter. Like, it's my whole shtick.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, well, you know.
You know, it's he.
So the
Fiala's
question
only.
is Halifax learning anything?
No, I was gonna say that Fiala is only good at enchanting almost pubescent little human male dudes who, yeah.
Well, I mean, to that level, yeah. And, well,
Yeah.
29 up against a prepubescent is pretty much an ease, just like,
Yeah,
you know.
it's a, yeah.
It's shooting
done.
fish in a barrel.
turns me into a raven, steps on my toes.
Yeah. Okay. So,
Oh, loving this.
all right. So, Jerry Cayford, as you have come to know him, he rushes out of the Bottle and Blade, and he takes you guys on a path leading left. And I don't know. He's like pretty much. I'm not sure exactly how Eridu is handling it, but he's only really aware that Fiala is, following him, and this Raven for whatever reason, her friend Raven or something. So maybe Eridu is going to try and just do like a little sneak, like a little stealth
Yeah,
check, just like
he'll-
follow them.
Yeah, he'll follow him. I'm not gonna roll a full-on stealth. Probably something that's more like I'm pretending to be walking along the street. But
Okay,
I'll keep him distracted. Don't worry about that.
for sure.
what would that be? Deception? Just
Yeah.
to make it seem like.
Oh yeah, deception is a good one.
I mean, can I roll with advantage because I'm opting to use my worst?
No, I will say that you can have it be deception based on dexterity instead of charisma.
All right. I can't see that dice.
That
from
was a
here.
lazy looking roll.
Yeah, it's because I'm throwing them at the floor because I don't have anything to roll at. There we go. That's not great. So that's a 11.
Okay, well, yeah, so that will be like, that will be low enough to where Jerry keeps looking back, and he just like is a very anxious and nervous looking guy anyway. So he keeps looking back and looking all over, and he keeps looking back and he sees you following them. And then finally he looks over at Fiala and he says, "Hey, did you notice that guy is maybe like following us or something?"
Yes.
Well, what's with that?
He's my manservant.
Oh.
He's a eunuch.
Ah.
I'm not even going to say that, just he's my manservant.
Okay,
He likes to
manservant.
watch.
Is my name Clyde?
There's
Or is
No,
it Claude?
that you have to understand. He is paid well to stand nearby and serve my needs, and sometimes he has to be around when I am enjoying myself. But he gets paid well for it.
Uh-huh. Man, you really are something.
In my raven form, I'm going to try and roll my eyes. In fact, I'm gonna let out a mimicked ha!
All right, so he just kind of shakes that off, and he keeps walking down the docks, and then you come upon this complex of little buildings that are all kind of clustered together, and they are located near this this section of the dock that goes out, and there are two sizable-looking ships that are docked right there, and he makes a beeline toward the buildings that are further up there, and he pulls out a ring of keys, and he starts trying them in each one of the doors, and he says like, "Oh gosh, one of these has got to work. Come on, just one of these keys has got to work." And then finally, about at the third door, he tries like the fifth key in the ring, and then finally it just opens.
I'm biting around, bouncing, like kind of like doing that step thing, like as if like I'm in anticipation, like I'm
sure.
excited, but clearly I'm not.
For
But
sure.
like I'm doing the stepping like I am.
Okay. All right. So he busts open the door and he goes inside, and he's looking around frantically. It looks like he's not super duper familiar with like which building this is, but it just looks to be like a very boring, very plain office. You know, it's like maybe like 15 feet by 10 feet long. He goes over to the central table where there's an oil lamp, and he gets that to start going.
Okay.
All right. I guess we're here.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give Eridu a look like, now it's your turn, and then I'm going to go inside and I'm going to follow through. So they have time to search.
So sorry, are we in the warehouse now?
No.
Oh,
no.
my. Okay,
No, you're
sorry.
not.
I misunderstood.
No. The warehouse is in a completely different area. Like, do you want me to
Okay.
pull? Do you want me to
Okay.
pull up
Gotcha.
the map again?
We're
So
we're pulled aside far enough that we can do our thing though, and like cast. a spell.
Yes. So I
Yeah.
will. I will. So I can with this polymorph spell on me.
Yeah,
I
you can. If you, I would drop it if you need me to, but yeah, I think I'll drop it at this point.
Cool.
okay.
was-
So just to be clear, you guys are not in the warehouse. You're in the docks, which are on the like southern end. The warehouse
Okay, so
is
then
all the way in the
then
north.
having known
So-
that, I'll just drop the polymorph now that
Okay,
we're in.
and all of three of you guys are in this office building with with him. So as soon as Eridu files in, like Jerry will like squint his eyes and say like, "Look, is it real? Look, is Leela? Is it really necessary that he's inside for this?" And then at that moment, you drop the polymorph spell on Halifax. Go Halifax.
That was not entirely unpleasant, but still. Yes. Hello, Jimmy. Was it?
Ah! What's going on?
This, and I shall point the ring and activate it.
Ah! All right, so let me draw that up really quick here. There is a verbal component. Do you have a special word that you want to say? You could just say
With our powers
gas.
combined.
Since it's a generic spell storing thing with a command, is it command word for the spell storing thing or the verbal component of gas?
For gas. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will say that the verbal component is heed.
Yeah. Cool. I dig it. So you stare at him and you say heed, and then he is gonna have to do a wisdom saving throw.
He is. So I need to carry out a service or refrain from some action. So I need to word this carefully.
Yes, you do. And the wisdom saving throw. Okay, so if he fails, he'll become charmed by you, and if he succeeds, it just like won't. It won't happen at all.
Yeah, it's DC 15, I believe.
Oh. I rolled decent, but he's not gonna have a high enough wisdom to make it happen. He's just not. He's not wise. There's not it's not a word I would use to
He is
describe
not a smart
Jerry
man.
Cayford. No, he's like plenty smart. He's just
No,
not
he's
wise.
very smart and nerdy. He just doesn't have a lot of world experience.
Does
Right.
not. He is not wise. So he is going to fail that, and you can issue any command you choose, short of an activity that would result in certain death. Should you issue a suicidal command, the spell ends. So yeah, you got to be careful with how you word the command here. I'm also gonna put like a general limitation on how long it can be. You know, like you can't write a novella and say like,
Yes.
okay, do all this. By the way, you know. But
Okay.
I'm gonna write this down. Whatever you say. What is the command?
Command is you will obey the commands of Eridu Samaria, this elf here, as long as it pertains to ISCB stuff.
Matters?
Yes.
How about using that word instead of stuff?
matters instead of stuff? I'm trying to think of a way to neatly word beyond your own reservations and professional capacity.
Okay, well, I'll just kind of put that in there. Beyond your own reservations and professional capacity.
Right, which
Yeah.
would just be a comment to add to that. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that gives us enough control over the guy while limiting our abuse of it. Because I think if I have him obey Theala will just like keep him locked in her room for a while. I think giving
That wouldn't be worth her effort.
but yeah, giving control of this guy over to Eridu not only means that the mission will be fulfilled, and it means that if there's any further things needed to release Aigner, that he can continue helping with that for the foreseeable 30 days or whatever. And it also means that if any other elves happen to be scrying or watching at any particular time, they might see Eridu magically controlling some guy. I'm not saying that this is compounding anything.
You never know. You never know. Okay,
Yeah.
so I've got
You
the...
know that Eridu always pulling them strings.
I know, right? You're
Yeah.
just a master puppeteer. It's all you.
It's all him.
Okay, how long has it been, by the way, since I did my first disguise self?
It's still been less than an hour.
Okay.
You know.
Just let me know.
Look
Yeah.
fast.
Yeah. It's,
Well,
it's
I
gone
did work fast. In all fairness,
You did work fast. I mean, you guys were already on the docks when you were doing that. You know, it's like it's all good.
True.
You know, it's like you got maybe like 30, 20 minutes left or something like
Okay,
that.
cool. Give me an idea for whenever, and then I'll decide what to do.
For sure. Okay, so the spell goes off. You do the command, and Jerry, it just seems like his head snaps back and his body is just like completely frozen in place, and he's still looking at Halifax with wide eyes, and he is taking in the command. And then there's a moment after, you know, your like voice is booming out from you more than it usually does, and heed me, and there is a silence that lasts after that, and then Jerry blinks his eyes a couple of times. Then it seems like he gets control of his body again, and he says, "Okay, I will."
Good. It may be quite uncomfortable for you if you don't.
Yeah, yeah. I just looked at the spell, and if he does not follow your commands, he'll take 5d10 psychic damage.
Right, and I'm sure he doesn't have a
And-
lot of health, so.
Yeah, it'll kill him instantly. Like probably, unless I roll all ones. You know, like for real.
He takes 5 psychic damage.
Bleh. But so yeah, he is standing around, and it seems like he's waiting for the other boot to fall right now, and he cautiously asks, "Are you gonna hurt me?"
Oh, no. Not at
Well,
all.
we certainly aren't. I think Haridu and I were about to leave the room so that Theala might.
I can still hurt you.
No,
Time is of the essence.
No. In a good way.
no, please no.
Okay.
Okay.
I wasn't lying about enthusiasm.
I just want out of here. I just want out of here right now.
Okay.
You keep dangling that carrot, Theala. We'll
That's
follow
not a
him
carrot. That's just an honest offer.
Look, what do you
I'm
want
gonna-
from me?
I'm gonna put an arm around him and start walking him towards the door. And my name is Eridu Samaria. It is a pleasure to meet you.
Good to
Come.
meet. Good to meet
We
you
have-
too. And
We have things to do. You and I.
yeah, there is a glimmer of recognition in his eyes as he realizes, like, oh yes, I have to follow your commands. You know.
Listen, I know those two can be quite intense and a little bit intimidating, but there is nothing I would ask of you that would put you in harm's way. I have been given a task by people that you do not have the authorization to know about to get some conjuration chalks from the warehouse not far from here. And I would like you to lead the way, assist me with this task.
You want to get into the warehouse,
Yes.
and you want me to take you to the warehouse, and you want me to get you into the warehouse so you can get chalk.
A specific type of chalk to be used in my employer's spell casting rituals.
Okay. I think I can do that. I really hope I can do that because I feel like it'd be really bad if I was not able to do that for you, Eridu Samaria. I've only been to the warehouse a couple of times before, in the past year or so. I mean I know where it is. I'll do my best.
That is all I ask. You seem like a very trustworthy and pleasant individual.
Okay.
I rather appreciate your aid.
Okay. He seems like he's like hyperventilating a little bit right now. Like he's just trying to like realize what's going on. Okay, so do we need to go right now?
Unless it would be too bizarre for us to appear at the warehouse at this hour.
No, no, I think it'll be fine. Look, after I do this, am I going to be normal again?
I'm afraid I don't know what you mean. You seem perfectly normal to me already.
There's just this thing in my mind, and it wasn't there before, and I don't know how to describe it, and I don't like it. Will it go away?
I assure you, whatever concerns or reservations you are feeling, after aiding me, they will be gone.
All right.
You are in a safe place, and everything is just fine. Take a deep breath
Okay.
as you Do you trust me?
Yes.
Good. Because I'm here to help you just as much as you are here to help me.
Okay. Let's go then.
Yes, I agree.
Just as a brief aside, who here has actually seen the 2000 Dungeons and Dragons movie with Jeremy Irons in it?
Oh,
Yes.
it's been years, but I saw it before. Yeah.
Yeah, I love the way that this spell is shown in that film.
Oh.
It's really, really good because it's got
wow.
the weird like brain snake things that like caress that blue
God, I
guy's
remember
head and
that.
stuff and like give him pain
Huh.
whenever he's not
Wild.
following along with it. It's really cool.
Interesting.
I mostly only remember cheering when Marlon Wayne's character died.
Yes, he had a mixed reaction with different people. Yeah,
Sure.
my mum was convinced that was Chris Rock. I just
Your mom's a racist.
Okay, so so you all have successfully done your gas quest command to poor little Jerry Cayford. He had no idea what was coming to him, and he is leading you
You should have
all.
expected. It's a honey trap.
It's the honey
I'm
pot.
sorry, but that's
it's
a thing.
classic. It's classic. It's like espionage 101.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he is leading you along the way. You're following the paths that lead through the city to the entrance to the warehouse, and on the way there, that is when your disguised self wears off, Josh.
I would obviously know about when it's gonna. Right.
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
Yeah, you can sense the magic threads
Kinda-
kind of like slipping away from you.
Is it dark? Is it dark enough where I could not worry about it, or should I pop it out one more? Like just basically re-up it.
It will be dark enough to not worry about it if you take everyone off of the main path, like you
No,
have
fuck
been
that.
going.
I'll recast it.
Okay. All right, because that's essentially if you guys are just following Jerry, then he's going to be taking the most well-traveled, most well-lit parts of the city.
Early fine. It's a first level spell. I'm not worried about it.
For sure.
Now, I was under the assumption that the two of them were going to go and do some stuff with inciting a riot while
Yeah.
me and Jerry did our thing. So I figured the two of them would break off.
Okay.
I was not aware of that, or did not.
Oh yeah, that's
realize.
right. That we were gonna do that. Yeah.
You
Okay.
just tell me what the plan is, because you guys threw out a bazillion and one things in the first
Hey,
half
we
of the
did.
session.
I threw out
I
a
know.
bazillion and one things. And
No,
they
all of you were a part of it. So I mean, like, just get your fucking story straight and tell me what's going on. You know?
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Because we I think we planned it on being much harder than that. But no, we do in order to create cover for you, so that way you can get in and out without any concern.
try and stretch resources of any
Yeah.
authorities.
Okay, so then, yeah, we'll do that. We'll break off, and then Halifax and you and I will discuss how we'll want to pull this off.
So we need to create a distraction.
Mhm.
The specifics we've not discussed. I was considering that what we do is start by perhaps heckling some people, but the specifics there I'm not too firm on. But between being able to confuse people and convince the guards that they themselves should be fighting amongst each other, I could also convince one of the guards to attack one of us. Gently, perhaps, but still to be seen to be violent towards us or whichever crowd we are nearby.
I have an idea.
Hmm?
How would you like to fight like an old married couple? Do it amongst a big enough crowd, cause a big scene, and when they go to interact with us, we overreact, making it look like they overreacted.
That could very well work. So enough confusion amongst whichever guards or ISCB members happen to be close by. It'll be mostly town guard, I imagine.
I'd assume. And what we can do with that is maybe throw a punch around at one of them, whoever's trying to pull us off, and up the ante a little bit. Especially if I do it. A poor defenseless woman elf. A big, strong SMR hitting me? And especially defending against another SMR does not look good.
Very true, especially with yourself being a drow, but disguised. They would have no idea that you would, in fact, be the matriarch in this relationship.
Exactly.
I support this idea, Theala. I think it has a lot of merit. You and I shall go to a town square. We shall fight like an old married couple, and we shall incite a riot amongst the guards.
Okay.
Seems
quite,
seems like a bit
a
of a
nice
plan.
first date.
Okay, so we're gonna head out. I'm gonna give him a good job pat on the way.
Good job, kiddo.
And then as we start to get close, I'm gonna start just for the sake of time. We'll not obviously role play it, but I want to just, as we start to get close, start the argument so that way it doesn't seem like we just stand in the middle of the square
For
and
sure.
argue.
For sure. Okay, that sounds about right. Let's see. Let's go ahead and go over to Eridu. In Eridu, you find yourself with Jerry, and Jerry is speed walking through the city, and before you know it, you find yourselves at that long, bridge. The long bridge that leads out to the whole complex where that warehouse is.
That old bridge?
That old bridge. And Jerry just walks purposely toward the end where the two town guards are stationed. And as you get close enough, are you keeping your face hidden?
Yes.
Okay. As you get close enough, Jerry takes a deep breath, and he straightens his back, and he tries to look as confident as he possibly can. And he says, "Hello there. Hello there." And the guards just look at him with a very steely gaze. "It's after hours. What can I help you with?" Yes. My name is Jerry Caford, and he pulls into his robe, and he pulls out a very kind of characteristic-looking black leather, like a little identification dealio. As you can see, I'm a member of the ISCB. I haven't been here in a while. I work on the Eastern Docks. I haven't been here in a while, but there is something that I really need to double check. We got a very curious shipment in tonight, and it matches something that I found in the warehouse the last time that I was here. And I understand that it's after hours, but it's vitally important that I get in here to cross-reference the information that I received.
I feel like you rolled a Han Solo persuasion check.
Oh,
We're fine. Everything's fine.
exactly.
It's all fine in here.
It's all fine.
How are you?
He rolled like a beast. Believe it or not, he rolled like a beast, and the guard did not. So it actually kind of plays out in this way where Jerry is like taking such a long time with his explanation and like digging out so many details to try and corroborate it, and the guard just like looks like he's getting more fucking tired of it as it goes on. And he says, all right, that's fine. You can go in, but this one will have to stay behind. We'll keep an eye on them. No, they have to come with me. You see, they were on the ship, and they need to see the material for itself to corroborate, right?
That is correct.
You are so helpful.
I try.
Should at least give him a deception roll.
Yeah.
I mean, trying the whole like changing my voice thing. So,
I didn't say it'd have to be an easy deception roll.
Well, what I did is I just kind of like had you somehow help him, even though that
Yeah.
was not very helpful. I'm going to be honest with you. It wasn't very helpful, but it was enough to help him with a little bit of advantage, and he did beat out the guard on that little contest. So the other guard, they look at each other and they look obviously suspicious about the whole situation, but they say, "All right, fine. All right, fine. If you're not out in 5 minutes, we're coming in to check on you." And at that, they pull the gate open and let you two in. Sweet. Eridu, you see there
now
are...
I'm suddenly nervous. Like, wait a minute. People might recognize me. I didn't think this through.
Yeah, they may just. So,
What do I see?
well, you see on the left there are some like little towering, just small little buildings here and there, just like a curious little collection of towers that's inside this whole complex. And then off to your right, the largest building is the warehouse. You know, like it's been described to you enough times, like especially by Halifax when he was doing the scrying, when he was looking at other warehouses like it. You just get the sense that, man, that's it. That's absolutely it. And yeah, you go on inside, right up the stairs, and I have prepared this little thing to give you an idea of what it looks like.
Okay.
Yeah, let me know when you can see that.
I need to open that.
Open it.
Ooh, hello.
Is this? Oh, I was looking at the wrong screen. Oh, there we go.
So it's a big old warehouse, and you're coming in on the very bottom left. Like you can see that there's stairs on the outside that lead into that tiny room,
Yeah.
and then the white things are doors, and the doors will lead to like different areas. Like there's that whole catwalk system that can be gotten to by that one door.
Jerry, are we going to be able to find this in 5 minutes?
I don't know. I don't even know what you're looking for. I mean, you said chalk, but I have no idea where the chalk possibly could be. I mean, this is your idea.
Okay.
I mean, do you think we can find it in 5 minutes?
Yes, I do. I just hoped you had a better understanding of this place than I did. Which my understanding is not small. We'll be all right.
We'll be okay. We'll be okay.
Yeah, we've got this.
We got this.
Conjuration chalk. Chalk for
Chalk.
specifically for conjuration stuff.
Conjuration.
That's correct, isn't it? It's conjuration.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was conjuration.
So, split up and search. Maybe use whatever abilities you have of detecting certain types of magic. I'm practicing my not Eridu voice. Is this convincing? Do I not sound like
okay. I mean, yeah. I've got some spells I can use for sure. Where do you think we should start?
Spell components, maybe?
It's not. I'm going to be honest with you. It's not terribly organized in here, but I can try and take us to the general area that'll work.
You take the left side. I'll take the right side.
Okay.
Skip anything that looks like it's probably bigger than what would fit in one hand.
Okay. All right. And you guys will go on and do that. So Jerry goes up on the left side, and as he gets far enough, are you going on the catwalks or are you going on the ground?
I was gonna stick with the ground at first and then go to the catwalks when if I don't find anything on the ground.
Okay. So first, I will allow you to make a perception check.
Okay. That would be an 18.
Okay, you find. So there is a very curious pattern that is inscribed into the ground, but there is a. It's like there's something faint about it. It's like really faint. It almost looks like someone spilled like some drink, like spilled some beer or something onto the floor, and it discolored it. But it's also dried a lot, so it's like just this. It's like this large sigil is on the ground, but you can just barely notice the color difference. But as you look at it, you can see that it is a very intricate sigil that's inscribed onto the ground. And you were just about to step on it, but then you noticed it.
Oh, good. So, I will. Jerry.
Yeah. What's up?
Keep an eye out on the floor. Make sure you don't activate any of the symbols. I believe they are probably some kind of detection mechanism.
Oh no, those will kill you.
Oh, don't step on them.
I mean, I don't have to worry about it, you know, but you probably should worry about it.
Of course.
Okay.
No follow-up questions, just okay.
Yeah.
Don't die.
So
I know what I need to know about those.
Yeah.
So
Avoid them.
Eridu tiptoes lightly around, and I'm not really gonna say what Jerry's doing necessarily because he's like kind of on his own trip, you know, kind of doing that. But in the direction that you are walking, you go past several crates. You notice that there are the catwalks above you. There are stairs leading to the ladders leading to the right that will get up to the catwalks. There are crates around you of all different heights: 5 feet high, 10 feet high, 15 feet high. And I should have mentioned that it's pretty dark in here. The only light that's coming in is from the big windows. Like there's a moon out tonight, and the moonlight filtering into the warehouse and these shafts of light is all the illumination that you're getting. So you get close enough, and you know this thing's pretty big, so you will see it. There is. You see essentially the big stone metal guardian thing that Halifax described to you, and it's just standing in the corner, inert, lifeless, but facing you, seeming like it's at the ready.
Jerry.
He can't hear you. He's too far away.
Damn it.
You just stay right there. Don't move. We're friends now, right? I'm gonna keep searching, but like try to keep a distance from it.
Okay, so you're keeping a good enough distance from it. You're not getting any closer. Also, you can see from that perspective that there's no real path. Like you'd have to clamber over a bunch of crates to like get further in there. But you can backtrack a little bit, and then you'll find that there is a way to get over across some crates into that whole area. And,
Yeah, I'll do that.
And then,
That's fine.
as you clamber on top of a crate, do one more perception check for me.
Okay. 20.
You see a pearl on the ground.
Oh. I am not gonna touch it. I'm gonna look at it and be like, that. No. I'm gonna try to like edge away from that.
There's real, like, if you want to advance, you have to, like, get around it somehow.
Okay. So how much space does it take up?
Well, it only takes up, like, one square.
Okay, so I can just walk around it?
or like step over it?
I mean, there's enough boxes around to. I mean, you'd have to clamber on a box, and
Yeah, I'll do that. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
fairly dexterous. I could do that with.
okay,
I feel secure.
for sure. All right, you clamber on the box, and as you get on top of the box, and you're about to hop off of it and like kind of skirt it around it this way, then the pearl rises in the air, and then this pulse just emanates from it, and you have to make a wisdom saving throw.
I will. And I'll probably succeed. Wisdom is so it's a 19. I keep forgetting wisdom is not a thing I'm trained in. Like-
Yeah,
I mean, I know why, but I just keep forgetting that.
for sure. So you rolled high enough to succeed on the save, so what happens is that you take only 4 psychic damage, and so it kind of hits you in this wave, but it doesn't really like knock you over or do anything else really bad to you. After the pulse happens, the pearl clatters to the floor, and you realize that could have been a lot worse, and the shock that it had to your mind, like it could have just totally overloaded your senses, and you don't know what would have happened to you at that point.
Right.
Yeah, and it did make this noise, and there was a bit of a sound there, and as that happens, then Jerry comes tearing around the corner and runs toward you, and says, "I think I found it! I think I found it! I think I found it!"
Oh, good. Yeah.
He stops in front of the pearl and he goes,
It's okay. It just tried to speak to me. Gave me a little bit of a bloody nose.
"Oh, okay, all right. Well, all right. Do you think this is it?" And he holds in front of you a pouch, a small pouch, and it's just fit to bursting with all these cylinders in there, just thick cylinders of chalk. And you can see on the face of them there is this glint, like many little glints of light coming off of it, as if there's this reflective stone just kind of buried within there that's giving it a very brilliant quality.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I suppose I probably should make a roll, but I don't know what I would be rolling for, considering I have no idea.
Well,
Hi.
Halifax did give you a scroll.
Oh, that's right. I will pull out the scroll and let me see these. Give me a moment, and I'm gonna look it over.
It has been so hard to sit
say
here
to
and
do
not
this.
scream detect magic.
How did he tell me how to do this again? Oh yes. And I'm gonna start.
You open the scroll, and it's written in Elvish, so you actually can read it. So it's like very easily, and you just the words roll off your tongue, and all of a sudden you get this like flash of light that goes over your eyes, and then Jerry, as he's looking to your eyes, he sees that they're like hazy and milky looking, like there's just like they're all cloudy. But your vision, everything in this warehouse just comes alive with different colorful auras. And, you're not necessarily practiced in that, but, I'm going to say that your intuition is great enough, even though you wouldn't be able to say, like, well, that's conjuration, and I know because I blah, blah, blah. It's like you have this intuitive sense of, like, yes, this is the thing. This is the thing.
All right. You have done quite well. Thank you. This is the object I'm looking for.
Okay. Can we get out of here before those guardians start smashing us?
Yes, that is a good idea.
Okay, let's do it.
As we're leaving, why would they smash you? I know why they'd smash me.
I just always thought that they didn't like me.
They are quite creepy.
Yeah.
I could see why you got that impression.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
And we run to the hills.
And you run to the hills. Meanwhile, Fiala and Halifax are walking toward the town square in which, or rather adjacent to which, the cornerstone is.
Right.
And they are just having a little bickering kind of argument, just a little kind of bickering style. And as luck would have it, as you walk along the path that leads to the square and you're going right by the cornerstone, you see that, it's kind of like it's a very humid night. And you see that the windows to the cornerstone are all opened to let a nice cross breeze through.
Mm-hmm.
And the cornerstone is packed, even more packed than the Bottle and Blade was when you were there earlier. There's all sorts of fine people of Twin Harbor getting their drank on at the cornerstone right now.
Okay, so I start to turn around, and as I start to turn around, I whisper to Halifax and say, "Grab my arm."
Indeed, lady.
Yeah.
I shall grab her arm.
And I'm gonna pull back, and I'm gonna say, "No, fuck you."
You're coming home this instant, young lady. We have chores to do, and I'm not going to be the one doing them.
Young lady, I am your wife.
Indeed, and you need to be put in your place now.
I'll put you in your place, and I, boom, slap you.
Ooh!
Didn't realize we were at the LARPing stage. Which
All right.
I'll whisper to her so no one else hears.
All right. So to make this really legit, how about Fiala makes a performance check with advantage?
Okay, fine by me. Oh, like 15. Not great, but
It's not great, but it's enough to catch the attention of
Yeah.
at least one person in there, and it's
Right.
it's actually the barmaid at the cornerstone who
Right.
saw it going on, and the barmaid comes out and she just storms right up and she's staring at Halifax right in the eyes and she says, "Look, I don't know what's going on here, but I don't like you. I don't like you, and I don't like what you're doing to this lady. And you know what? If she is your wife, that doesn't matter, because you should leave her alone. Do you
And
get
so in
that?"
the middle of that, I'm going to interrupt and I'm going to go, because I'm in the middle of that, I'm going to turn to her and I'm going to cry and I'm going to put my face into her shoulder.
You see what you've done? Do you see what you've done? And
Oh, she's being nothing but a drama queen. Now, really, we have to get her home right now. She has been put in her place.
so now that enough raised voices are happening to where a couple pretty much everyone in the Cornerstone watched the barmaid go out, and
Right.
you've got like all sorts of faces smashing up against the windows, like all just like, "Oh, what's going on out there? What's going on?" And then two town guards who are making a patrol they're like coming the opposite direction, and they're hustling and bustling. They're like, all right, what's going on here?
That piece of shit put his hand on me. I'm not going home with him.
Oh, yes. Oh, I'm sure you would say something like that. She's obviously exaggerating. She's hysterical. Can you not see? Surely you agree with me, and as I say, you agree with me, I am going to charm one of the guards, but not both of them.
Uh-huh.
So,
All right, so they have to make a wisdom saving throw?
yes. So again, DC 15. So I'm going to make him, basically, just charming him makes him more friendly towards me.
Okay, you successfully charm him, and he looks at you in the eyes and he says, "You're absolutely right. This lady should be going home, and that seems like a good idea." And the other guard looks at him like, "Oh, what were you going to say?"
Go on.
I was going to say, to the other guard, I would like to cast Enemies Abound.
Okay.
To really exaggerate his reaction to his guy. So it's an intelligence saving throw this time. Still
Oh my
DC
God.
15.
rolled an 8 for the first guard, and I rolled a 9 for the second guard. You guys were just destined to rock this situation so hard. So that guard, he just imagines that everyone around him is an enemy.
He is unable to distinguish friend from foe.
Oh, okay.
Essentially. So it's the way I imagine it is basically any kind of like friendliness or camaraderie he would have had with that other guard is confused for that moment, so he's not beholden to it necessarily. So he could more easily fall into an argument with them. Or...
For sure. Oh, yeah. Well, then absolutely. He'll look at the other guard and he'll just, like a little shock will happen in his head, and he'll go, "No,
I will do no such thing. You stop him from that. All of it."
He just seems so confused, like he's about to say something, but then he just fails in using words, and then instead springs into action. And he looks at the other guard and just tackles him, just straight, and tackles him to the ground, and he's trying to pin him. And the other guard just starts screaming and just starts punching the other one, and just...
I'm going to look at Theala and sort of dart my eyes down. It's like, get punched.
Yeah, I know. I was literally gonna do that. I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna like push him. I'm like, no, stop it! Stop that! Stop it! Kind of like basically trying to
pop.
Okay.
You got popped right on the nose.
So when he hits me, obviously I take it and I'm going to flail.
Oh yeah.
I'm a soccer player.
For sure.
And should we wrap that up around there?
Yeah, that's pretty much a good place to wrap it up. So Eridu has secured the chalks, and they are kind of running straight back to the hideout as far as I can tell. And Theala and Halifax have just incited a riot. You are you're not necessarily at this point you're not necessarily sure if it's gonna turn into that full blown, but you just
we'll roll a performance check at the beginning of the next session.
Yeah, and you had a whole audience in the Cornerstone watching all that go down. So, like I said before, next week is going to be the last session of this episode, and boy, is it going to be a doozy, let me tell you what. Hope you enjoyed today's session of Blood Money. That's the name of the episode. And yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one. So yeah, please come back next Tuesday afternoon Pacific time, and we will wrap this whole thing up. Thank you for joining us.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye. Have a good
See
one.
ya.
Thanks for watching.